Hey, what's up, fam? I gotta say, going into this chapter 24 for Fairy Tale Happy Adventure, I didn't really care too much about what was gonna happen, just because I didn't really have any care for the characters. We had, well, not obviously all the characters. I'm talking about specifically out of Tigray and Elif. I mean, it's a furry tiger chick that just got introduced, and I don't really, as I said, I don't really want to look at the furries. Against LFU, had just kind of existed as this kind of douchey elephant guy who got a little bit of character development before his little mini arc was over. And it wasn't a bad character. I just didn't really care too much about him. But after this chapter, I'm feeling a little different off my take of his character. So obviously, where it kind of left off, Happy had just arrived. Him and she are having a face off. They're staring each other down. And one of the things I actually really like about this side series is the fact that Happy has like his own actual rival now, and it's not taken as like a little cutesy goof. Like they're actually like pretty intimidating to each other. I think that's kind of cool, and I am looking forward to the fight between the two of them. I actually really want to see that. Just like the idea of Happy in his own fight. I mean, Happy's always been really fast. Like speed has always been his thing, but now he's got somebody to compete against with that. So maybe we'll have some really cool land speed and flight speed like combat. I don't know. I don't expect some epic super battle, but I just want to see like at least a one chapter fight with some cool panels. Happy actually doing something combat wise. I think that'd be pretty interesting. But once really kind of left off kind of with Rhino, he's got some history with Mandrill, the big dude from earlier in the series who Luna tricked Happy into trying stealing his collectible, which was taken out. And Rhino's kind of just explaining how now with the Ether Moon, she is in charge, and he wants to take over the other town. He wants to take over uh, and just make everybody his friends. That way, no one could betray him. But he doesn't want Happy to be his friend. He's pretty salty about that still. And then it gets over into Elif versus Tigray, and Elif can't really do anything to her. She's too quick. She's too agile. She just is a much better fighter all around. And I was really curious to how this was going to end because I figured he's going to win, the first fight out of these four for each of the villains. And this character who is in his redemption arc and he's fighting somebody better than him, but how exactly is it going to go down for him? It wasn't something close. He was getting absolutely manhandled just because the fact that he couldn't really compete with Tigray on any level other than just like physical strength, but he couldn't hit her. It's too quick. And while in the midst of that, you actually get a flashback from her, and you see that just the way that she kind of sees things, growing up in that very criminal rooted town, that she sees the world really in this like law of the jungle where only the strong survive, and that's kind of dictated her whole life. And I think that's kind of a very realistic mindset for a character. Like I get it, especially when you live somewhere dangerous like that. It was definitely a very quick and easy to kind of click into backstory, but Elif is just kind of thinking about how that affects him and the way that he was. That his entire life was kind of centered around this one idea. He was like, I'm going to be a hero. I'll do whatever it takes. But he was doing it more for the idea of being a hero and not for like, doing what a hero does and helping people. And how he eventually started to kind of hate weak people because they needed to be saved. But, all this stuff that with Happy, he ended up seeing it differently. And that was a pretty nice character moment for him of just kind of him like acknowledging where he fucked up and what he has to improve upon, where he's got to go to, better himself as a person. And then right after that, Tiger goes in, uses her bat with nails and breaks the sword in half. I don't even know that happens, but it happens. I don't know, super nails, super animal metal. And just like once that happened, I was like, all right, this is gonna be either he's gonna lose or he's gonna somehow win. And obviously the thing that I didn't think about is, the probably weapon of choice for an elephant would be the tusks, but even more so the trunk. So he ends up grabbing Tigay with his trunk and just kind of holding on to her, and she just beating the crap out of him with her bat. and until the point where he's actually unconscious and still standing up, still holding on to her, and just ends up breaking her willpower of just that determination completely just rattled her fighting spirit, and she ends up giving up. And that was pretty cool on his part. This is his last panel. Like I said, I don't really care for his character before this chapter, but I kind of like him after this. It was a pretty cool moment, and it was a nice little bit following his kind of revelation as a character, and showing what exactly he's reflected upon and moved forward, and where he's trying to better himself. So I like that. He's got a thumbs up for me now. I like some of the characters in this series, even though it's Happy's own adventure. It's a spinoff. He's doing his own thing, but not a lot of there's no long arcs. Like, this is the longest so far. It started, I think, like 17, and we're on 25 now. An eight chapter arc out of a series that's only 25 chapters long, taking up a third of the series. It's got a lot of weight to it already, and I think it's pretty cool. So seeing kind of all this stuff before accumulate into what's going on now is pretty nice. I look forward, like I said, mostly to see Happy fight Chi and how that goes down. If he's gonna try and talk him into and giving up, does some emotional thing, that's fine. They're like 8-year-old little kitten people, so I don't expect some bloodbath. But I just want to see a little bit of combat. But anyway, tell me what you think in the comments below about this spinoff and this chapter specifically. And I hope you can get a thumbs up the video and subscribe if you haven't. Tell me if you've been enjoying the spinoff as a whole. I like it. I like seeing a support character as the main character. It's pretty cool. But other than that, thank you very much for listening. I hope you can check out my other videos. And anyone who's already subscribed, thank you very much.